Hey guys, back with another video. This time we're gonna do a classic pay-per-view review. This time we got ECW House Party '98. This was a suggestion from my good friend Beatdown Bunny, so let's get this underway, shall we? So this is from January 1998, House Party. So let's get this underway, shall we? We kicked off the show with the FBI, the full-blooded Italians of Tommy Rich, Tracy Smothers, and Nunzio, or Little Guido, whatever you want to call him, taking on the team of Tommy Dreamer, Axel Rotten, and Balls Mahoney, who did his best Mick Foley hair impersonation on this show. His hair looked exactly like Mick Foley's. Like I was convinced for a moment it was Foley for a moment. So that was funny. A lot of stalling in this match. Well, at the start of this match, there was a lot of talking throughout the show. It was a theme throughout the show for when they would cut long 10-minute promos before the match, and it did get irritating after the fourth or fifth attempt. I was just like, okay, can we just get this match underway already? So this was the opener. A lot of stalling to begin with. And then, what did I say in this one? Too much talking at the start before the match. Then the match starts and it goes like, 3 or 4 minutes before we have a head-scratching moment where they're all brawling on the outside. And all of a sudden, Axel Rotten gets one of them back in. I think it's Nunzio, Little Guido. And he's just about to hit him with a move. And all of a sudden, a referee comes out with a neck brace on. And he throws powder in the eyes of Axel Rotten and Tommy Dreamer. So I'm thinking, okay, this has got to be the finish. Nope. Turns out that's just how the bad guys get the heels get the advantage. And I'm like, really? What? Like, so that took me back a little bit. I was confused about that, and then, so the match continued, and the babyfaces then got the hot tag, and the usual tag team stuff, and, breaks down into a multi-man, brawl at the end. And then, just as the babyface is going to get the win, the heel ref, the ref who blindsided him with the powder, he came back in, he ambushed the actual referee. So they got into a brawl, and the Joey Styles is out on commentary going, "Ref fight! Ref fight! Ref fight!" And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know this is the original ECW, but it's just like, what the fuck? And then Tommy Dreamer's wife, Beulah McGillicuddy, comes in and she low blows the crooked referee, as I call him, and the actual referee DDT's the crooked referee, and then Beulah counts the pin on the ref and Tommy Dreamer, who's pinning Guido. So that's how the babyfaces win. A bizarre opening match. It was what it was. It was a head scratcher. It was a head scratcher. Anyway, let's get on with the next match, shall we? We've got Jerry Lynn versus Chris Candido. A solid matchup. Nothing bad to say on this one. Looked like they took the match home early. It looked like they took the match. Looks like they finished a little bit shorter than they were hoping to, because Chris Candido looked like he injured his arm for real. So Jerry Lynn quickly put on an armbar, and Chris Candido tapped out immediately. And I thought it was going to be an injury. I thought it was going to be like a part of the story where, because they checked on him afterwards and they kept the camera on him very afterwards. And me being a wrestling fan for almost 20 years, that I was sat there and thought, okay, where's this story? Like, okay, Chris Candido's he's gonna fake an injury or something. He's gonna attack Jerry Lynn or something. No, he just shook his hand and raised his arm with his good arm, and then they went to the next match. So a good solid match. That was kind of not tarnished, but a little bit undone by the unfortunate injury. Anyway, next match we have let's see if I can spell it, get this right. We have Gran Namara versus the Gran Hamada. So this is a Japanese showcase match between two guys with the name Gran. So this was very confusing. One had a mask, one didn't have a mask. The one with the mask did have it was the heel, and the man without the mask was the babyface. So that's the way I put it. This was it was a weird match. It was fine. I guess it was fine. I guess. I didn't really think too much of it. It was a showcase match for the Japanese talent, and that's about it really. Didn't really care too much about it. And the one without the mask won. William Regal's going ballistic right now. Man in a mask, man in a mouth, you know. You get the picture. Anyway, then we had next match, we had Al Snow taking on Roadkill. This was bizarre. This was bizarre, like, you know, I can't believe how popular Al Snow and Head were. Anyway, Roadkill, they did a little bit of a match. It was fine, some fine wrestling, and then the interference got involved, and interference from Roadkill's people. I think it was Chastity or something, and Al Snow hit Head. We got Head, and there was a lot of head move. There was a lot of head involvement with Head, and Al Snow gets the win. So the babyface gets the win by overcoming the heels with Head. Never thought I'd say that in a video before. Anyway, so that was fine. It was what it was. Then we had Just Incredible versus the great Suzuki. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, guys. This was the worst match of the night for me. I did not enjoy this match. I get what they were trying to go for with like showing Just Incredible's got a mean streak and a vicious side, but I just felt like some of the offense was very off here, like where the way that he injured his knee in the match, the great Sasaki did, where he went to do a spring, like a jumping move over the top rope, and Jason, Just Incredible's manager, grabs his leg, and I'm like, okay, so that's how Justin's going to get the advantage. Grabs his leg, tripped him up, and then the great Suzuki just got back up and did the move anyway. I was like, wait, what was the point of that? And then he injured his knee because it was concrete floor. So that was a bit strange. It was what it was. I didn't like this match. Unfortunately, I didn't like this match. So that's all I'll say about that. Then next match we had Rob Van Dam versus Bam Bigelow. Fantastic match. Was going along to be my match of the night. My match of the night so far, of the matches I saw so far. But then the finish happened and unfortunately took away a lot of the momentum that I was feeling with this match. Still a good match. It's just with the interference of Chris Candido and Sonny and Francine, and then the French eye Shane Douglas. It was just like, it was a bit too much for me. I get it was ECW, but it was way too much for my liking, interference wise. And Rob Van Dam picks up the win. And there was just too much. There was just too much interference for my liking. Then we had Taz versus Too Cold Scorpio. Pretty good match, decent matchup here. I skipped the intro because there was a lot of talking involved. So I was like, at this point in the program, I was kind of getting a little bit tired, and I was sick and tired of the 10-minute promos. So I just skipped forward. So if I missed anything, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Taz versus Too Cold Scorpio. It was a great, fine showcase. It was good seeing Taz in there in his prime. Fun stuff. And then Too Cold Scorpio kind of dominated towards the end. Like, I think it was like 80% to 20%. I would give like offense wise on Too Cold Scorpio and Taz. And but then he just got caught out of nowhere with the Taz mission and taps out. So pretty cool stuff. Really puts over Taz's Taz mission. Like, he can get you from out of nowhere, no matter if you're on offense or not. Pretty cool stuff. I like this match. Big thumbs up. Then next match we had the Dudley Boyz. Well, Bubba Ray and Devon teaming up with their big brother, Big Dick Dudley, to take on Little Dudley, Spike Dudley, and New Jack and Cronus. If I'm saying his name right, Perry Saturn's tag team partner from the Eliminators, Cronus. This was okay. It was the typical New Jack brawl, where a typical New Jack brawl where the music is playing and they just hit each other with a bunch of weapons and typical New Jack stuff. It was fine, and then Dudley got the win. They handcuffed New Jack to the ring ropes, and they just hit a bunch of moves on Cronus towards the end and got the win. So pretty cool stuff. But if you've seen any New Jack stuff, you probably would have think, okay, typical New Jack stuff. So I thought it was fine. And then we had the main event. We had Sabu versus Sandman, Stairway to Hell match. This was barbaric. This was a crazy weapons match. But unfortunately, because of Sabu suffering an injury, the match had to be cut short, and it got a bit uncomfortable. I don't know if it was a real broken jaw, but basically what happened was he smashed his jaw on the guardrail, and then not long afterwards, he had Bill Alfonso, his manager, put like tape around his jaw to keep it shut. And then not long afterwards, the match kind of just abruptly ended with Sandman hitting him with a kendo stick and pinning him. And I was like, and I thought to myself, like, it really took me out of it, because it was just like barbaric, like torturing each other with these weapons like barbed wire and ladders and tables and chairs. And then all of a sudden, like, it just took me out of it when it was like, oh wait, this guy's hurt and he's taping his jaw shut because he's broke his jaw, and like the match abruptly, and the match falls apart because when it doesn't have its final conclusion like the way they wanted it, because his jaw got broke. I'm like, it does get to a point where it's like a human being is more important. Human body is more important than the actual match. So, yeah, it did get. I think it went a bit too far. Not like barbaric wise. It's just the fact that if the match should have been stopped. If it gets to the point where Sabu is literally taping his jaw shut to continue the match, then that's where you lose me a little bit. Like, that's where you lose me. So, I was pretty disappointed. Kind of a lackluster ending, unfortunately, because of the injury. But I guess that was the original ECW. So, unfortunately, did not enjoy this as much as I was expecting to. I give it a 6 out of 10 because there was some stuff I enjoyed, like Rob Van Dam and Bam Bam and Taz and Tuco Scorpio and some other stuff. Like, there's some in-between stuff I liked, but for the most part, it was fine for the most part, but I think the injuries, the vicious style kind of, I know it's the original ECW, I know I'm not, I know what I kind of should have expected what thingy, but it was just a bit too much for, injury-wise, and, like that last visual of Sabu just taping his jaw shut so he could continue the match was just a bit like, okay, dude, like, come on, this is a bit too far now, dude. So, anyway, that's it, guys. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Comment below and tell me what you thought. Anyway, next time on the reviews, Classic Pay-Per-View reviews, it's the Royal Rumble from 2022 from this year. That's going to be very interesting, but I'll tell you next time. Anyway, that's going to be it for now, guys. I'll see you in a bit.